Hello and welcome to my kitchen. It's Thursday, that's right, and I've got my apron on and my wok's out, and we're going to be making a fantastic recipe today, and it's out of book 4. That's right, we're going into book 4 and we're making Penang chicken. It is such a fantastic Thai dish and normally really high in fat. So this is a tenth probably of what you would be having if you got this at a Thai restaurant. So that's what we're making today. It's also in cooking for 1 or 2. So you can make it for 4 or you can make it for 2. So I give you that option, which is a bit fabulous. Now, before we start, can I just say hello to all those in lockdown. I've got my daughter in Sydney and her family, and it's just one of those things that you've got to be really strong, know that this time will pass. And I'm just hoping everybody keeps safe and fabulous over this difficult time, and hopefully you'll be back outside soon. So it is what it is, isn't it? Now, before we do any of the recipe, I need to talk about last week's show, which was the Drover's potato pie, and everyone loved it. And I talked about how the Queens have discontinued the little bottles of the Parisian essence. Now, a few of you were very smart and went on eBay and into Queens and messaged me about it, because what I did is I got this from a commercial wholesaler place, kitchen food place. It was sent to me by a lovely friend in Tasmania, and what I've been doing is actually keeping the little bottle and just filling it up using one of those little, no, it's a little funnel, I couldn't think what the word was. And so what another lady said, which I thought was really clever, that watches the show, she was saying that a friend and her bought a 500ml bottle off Queens and they shared it. So if you really wanted to keep with the Parisian essence, there are options out there for you, and I just wanted to clarify that with you. And that's a browning agent, so it's really used in a Christmas cake and in the Drover's potato pie. So up to you. And people used to use it to make gravy with, but now, the winners from the show were the fabulous Sue Churchman. Hi, Sue. Jacqueline Rolfe, winner, and Jen Tedford. So they won a personalised copy of the book. And so that was book 7. So let's look at the ingredients we need. Thanks for joining me. If you're just tuning in, I'm about to make Penang chicken. And it's out of book 4 and the cooking for 1 or 2. So now I've got my jars here, but you can always use fresh. So we're going to have some ginger and some garlic. We need zucchini, cauliflower. We need some fresh basil, and I've already chopped it up, and I'll tell you the quantities in a minute. We've also got onion, carrots, beans. We're going to use 500 grams of skinless chicken breast. We've also got the very important ingredient, Penang curry paste. I mean, who could be bothered to make them from scratch? Hello, yes, MasterChef, you can do it, but in this MasterChef house, we use the jar. And we're going to use a bit of sugar, some fish sauce. We've got the cooking spray, which we really need for the not good quality pan that I'm going to use. We've got evaporated milk, and I'm adding a little bit of milk, and I'll explain that in a minute. Coconut essence. I've also got some chopped up peanuts, and that's unsalted. So that's optional. You don't have to put it on. And I've also got some corn flour. So what I'm going to do is I am going to start cooking. Hello, that's what we're here for, isn't it? And I'm going to start cooking the chicken, and while that's cooking, I'm going to start chopping. So always make sure you heat your pan up, pretty solidly. We want that to be nice and hot. And I've actually chopped up the chicken ahead because there's a little bit to do, and I thought, well, you know how to do it. So it's in strips though, okay? So, and I'll show you what they are. So let's get our little measure spoon, and we're going to do a teaspoon of ginger. And you can use fresh and do it yourself, absolutely. Teaspoon of garlic. So they're done. And now what we're going to do is, I've got it a bit hot. Put in the chicken. And as I said, they're cut in strips, not diced. Look, you could dice if you want. It's just that that's how they do the Penang in the traditional way. And I mean, putting the garlic and the ginger in really will help infuse that flavour into the chicken and make it just a bit super delicious. Who needs to pay for expensive Thai when you can make it at home, people? Yes. Let me wash my hands. Alrighty. So we're going to leave that to cook for a little bit and then I'll stir. So we're going to start chopping our veggies. So let's get the knives. Now I'm sorry that the knives are not available yet. They're still waiting for the shipment to come from overseas. So it does make it a bit hard. Now also, if you notice when I was using my measure spoons, they're back. That's right, you've got the tablespoon and the teaspoon, and they're back in the shop now as a set. And also this wonderful chopping board that I use all the time in my kitchen. I've actually secured some and they're on the website, so you can buy your very own watermelon chopping board and be like me in the kitchen. How fun is that? Okay, so I'm going to get my measure cup and I want 2 cups of sliced zucchini. Let me look here. These, I tell you, they make it hard to see, don't they? And I don't want to have them too thick. I'm going to do them fairly thin because I want them to cook quickly. This is a fairly big zucchini. I probably would have preferred a smaller one, but that's all they had in the shop. And we're going to just chop all the veggies up and put them in a bowl, and then we'll cook them up in a minute. All right, 2 cups. Where are we? And I think we probably, yep, that's good. So that was like 1 really big zucchini, just so good to know. Now we need the cauliflower, and I might use a smaller knife for this, and you're going to do them into florets. So once again, you don't want big ones like that. You want them more bite size, okay? That's the perfect size for this stir fry. And if you know cauliflowers are a bit expensive, sometimes what I do is I'll swap it and use broccoli. Or if I've got a bit of both, which I tend to do a lot, I will put half and half. So half a cup, 1 cup of broccoli and 1 cup of cauliflower. Because why not? But the recipe is, as it is right now, is cauliflower. It's amazing how certain vegetables get really cheap at certain times, and cauliflower at the moment, I think, is it? Do you reckon it's not that cheap, is it, Bill? It's come back down a bit, yeah. Right, there's our, oh, maybe a little bit more. We don't want to rob ourselves of our veggies, do we? Right, so there is 2 cups, so it's going in the bowl. I'll put that over the side. Oh, our chicken's looking great. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to remove the chicken into this bowl because it's pretty well cooked, right? So I don't want to overcook it. And this is one of my real things that I really suggest you do, is you want this chicken to be beautiful and juicy and flavoursome. You don't want it tough and dry. And so what I'm doing now, and you should do this for all stir fries really, take it out, let's cook the veggies here, and then we'll put that back in near the end. And so that way everyone's going to be eating and going, wow, this chicken is so tender and juicy. How do you do it? And you can just say, oh, well, it's just how I cook. Alrighty, so now look, watch what I'm doing here. I want a cup of beans and I want everything to be easy. So I'm pushing that all to the end and cutting them all at once. See how quick that is? And I'm getting them in and it's in half. Boom! There's the beans done. I want a cup. And I reckon that's fabulous. Now what we need, we don't need zucchini, we're going to do carrot, and we want 2 cups. No, 1 cup, I'm sorry, of carrot. Now it says sliced, but I'm going to do it, what I always love to do with Asian, is I cut it in half because carrot's the thing that takes the longest to cook. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in half and I'm going to cut it thinly on an angle. See how I've done that? It's not too thick, and it just gives it a little bit of an oriental look. Does it? I think it does. So I'm always right, so it has to be. And I haven't cut the skin off. I washed the carrot and just left the skin on because they're so clean, the carrots of today. And that way we're getting that little bit of extra fibre, which I think we can all do with. Now I want a cup. Let's have a look. And then all we have to do is chop up the onion. And as I said, we would have had to chop the chicken as well, but I got out of it easy today. Let's just do a little bit more carrot to get that to the 1 cup. Thanks for joining me. If you're just tuning in, yes, I'm chopping up here. And what am I making? Well, I'm doing a fabulous Penang chicken. This is one of my go-tos when I'm in Thai. And that's why I had to make the recipe, because I know how high in fat it is. All right, there we go. Lastly, we have the onion. Now we want a medium-sized onion. Cut it in half. Cut it in quarter. And then we slice. Ooh. And this is where we just then start cooking. And what we'll do is we'll cook the veggies off first. Then we add the beautiful flavours for the sauce. And remember, this is also in the Cooking for 1 or 2 book, so you can actually make it for 2. And so it's everything so quick and easy. All right, let's fire up the wok. We have got to be done, because remember I've already done the basil, which I got out of my garden. Yes, thank you very much. I grow my own. And it's doing really well. All right, so let me just get rid of this. And we're going to now, I'm going to put the onion in first, and then everything else goes. Lots of veggies in this recipe. Now, if you love the board, it's double-sided, so if I had to chop the chicken, I could have just turned it over like that and done it, and so it wasn't cross-contaminating. All right, where's my, here it is. All right, so in goes all the veggies. Okay, you know what? Wait a minute. We need our moment with the wok. Let's bring it over, people. Yes. There's our chicken, so I don't forget it. All right. In goes all those fabulous vegetables. Oh, yes. Now, you want to just cook them for a couple of minutes. Now, this is really going to be up to you how much you cook your veggies, because some people, my mum used to like them rock hard, virtually nearly raw. I like them, I don't like them real raw, but I hate them really soft. So this is how long you'll cook them for, is how long you like them. Now, the traditional version of Penang would normally use the thigh of the chicken, and they would also batter it a lot of the time in some recipes, but in this one particularly, it's the thigh chicken. They also would add coconut cream, and that's so high in fat. And so how do you make low-fat coconut cream, you ask? Well, of course I have the answer. You're using the evaporated light milk and coconut essence. Now, if you're having trouble finding the coconut essence, because, they're not in Coles and Woolies anymore, thank you very much, you can get them in most IGA stores. And if they don't, go up to the manager and ask them if they'll order it in for you, because they're able to do that. Or you can go onto the Queen's website, and one lady did that recently, and she told me she bought 3 bottles so she was fully covered, because the postage was the same. So you can still buy it, no problem. But let's talk about the fat count of my healthy way. It's 6.8 for the chicken, yes. And now with the traditional one, it would be the coconut cream. They put oil in it, they use the thigh. And the other issue that a lot of people don't think about is the salt. And they put a bucket of this fish sauce in, and it is really high in sodium. So this is where I'm able to just bring the flavours without getting too many bad things happening in our diet. So that's fantastic. Now, the rump is 10.5 grams of fat, so you would use replace the 500 grams of chicken for the rump. The pork is 6.8, so that's nice, the pork schnitzel sort of one. And for the veggies, the tofu is 12.1. You just dice that. Right, this is looking great. All right, so now what I do is I'm going to add the Penang paste in. Now, it says in the recipe 3 teaspoons, but that's, and I do that just in case you don't have my spoons, because if you did a tablespoon, it might be too much if you're using the normal one. My tablespoons are 15 mils, okay, not the 20. So that's why sometimes you go, why is she saying 3 when really it's a tablespoon? So I'm just going to flatten this out because I want it to be right. Because if you have too much, it could be too hot. So in we go. There we go. Fabulous. How easy was that? Yes, I am very grateful for the jars of these beautiful pastes because they give you that authentic flavour. Hello, it tastes fabulous, but you haven't had to do it yourself. Now, it can be frozen for about 2 or 3 weeks, but not much longer because of the evaporated milk. Oh, wow. That's when you know you've got a good paste, when it chokes you from the heat. But it's not really hot. It's just got a kick to it. It's fantastic. And Penang is like that. Alrighty. So now what we do, let's finish it off. We're going to put in the basil, the chopped fresh basil. I know it's only a tablespoon, but it really does make a difference, yeah? We're going to put a tablespoon of sugar, and this just mellows that Penang, so it really does make a difference. Then we're going to put in 2 teaspoons of fish sauce, not a half a cup, which is what the original recipes probably are. So we want 2 teaspoons. And this is good for people's health and well-being, isn't it? 2 teaspoons. That's it. Oh, yes. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck the chicken back in. Let's put the chicken back in. Yes. Here you go. Back in. Now, this is enough for 4, remember? It's a complete meal. You've got everything you need, except I have rice with it. You could do noodles or rice. Up to you. Oh, it's looking a bit fabulous. Penang chicken, dinner tonight, that's for sure. And look how this wok is. It's so incredible. I love it. And these are still available on my website. The woks and the fry pans are still there. Unfortunately, the knives, we're waiting, patiently waiting for stock to come into Australia. All right, so now I might just turn this down a little bit. All we have to do now is mix up the evaporated milk, and here we go, with the corn flour. So this is the new size, the new look. It looks a little bit yellower too, I think, than the normal one. But so there we go. We want the full can, which is $3.40. In the recipe it says $3.75 because that's what it used to be. So I'm going to now add in 35 mils of skim milk, just to get the liquid right. Now I'm going to put in to the milk 2 tablespoons, and I find it really easy just to go up to the edge of the container to get my level spoons. Mix it up. In we go. And all we have to do is wait for that to boil. And that is Penang chicken, the Symply Too Good way. Oh, it's so good. And I just think that it's just so lovely, especially if you're in lockdown right now. This is where you can come into the kitchen, join me every Thursday, fill your time up. Could be classed as a cooking class for the kids. So if you're homeschooling, this would be really good. And I know my little granddaughter in Sydney, she has to make a cake today. And she FaceTimed me and she was telling me she'd picked out of the cookbooks the wicked chocolate cake to make. So she'll be sending me photos of her doing that. And I think that's a fantastic idea. All right, this is looking amazing. Now, the other thing you can do is you've got the nuts. Now, you could just put it all in, but I like to get my quota. And so this is for 4 people. So I tend to sprinkle it on top as I'm serving it and give everyone a quarter of it because, oh, wait a minute, coconut essence, hello. We want a teaspoon. Nearly forgot the most important thing that gives it that beautiful, authentic flavour. There we go. Boom. And how much lower in fat? Normally, coconut cream, about 40 grams of fat for a cup. My way, 4. That's right. Oh, look at this. How beautiful. And I love all the vegetables in it. They're just so fantastic. And that's what I love about Thai food in general, is the way that they really embrace veggies. All right, so let's serve this fabulous dish up. Move it over here. Now, this is for 4. Yeah, you won't be hungry tonight, honey, that's for sure. And let's serve it up. So I want a quarter of this. So in the bowl it goes. And I just think it's fantastic. Remember, if you don't have to do chicken, you can do other flavours, you know, with the different proteins. So there it is. So let's sprinkle the nuts on the top. That's it. I'd say that's a quarter. And we are done for another week. Yes, here we go. Penang chicken. I mean, who knew weight loss could be so deliciously healthy? Yes, I've done it again at only 6.8 grams of fat a serve. Now, the other thing I want to mention as well, if you're saying, Annette, I'm dairy free, what do? I've got an answer for everything. And so what it is you replace the evaporated milk and the skim milk that I used with almond milk. Just add another tablespoon of corn flour because it's quite runny, the milk, and that way it's not gluten-free, it is dairy-free. All right, so do you want to win a book? Hello, this is what you do. You're just going to win either book 4 or you can choose the cooking 1 or 2. What do? You have to like, and then it's very important that you share, especially at this time. Let other people know about this show because, you know, there's a lot of bored people out there in lockdown. And while I'm thinking about it, you know where you can also see all the shows. If you're really, really bored or you just want some inspiration in the kitchen, go to YouTube and find the Simply Too Good, what would you call it, Bill? It's the channel, the Simply Too Good channel. And you'll see all of the Thursdays and the Tuesdays on there as well. Okay, back to this. We like, we share, hashtag Simply Too Good. Remember the Y and the 2. You write that in the comments and then I'll pick 3 fabulous people to win a prize. Now remember, go to simplytoogood.com.au if you're interested in the spoons, chopping boards, the woks, the cookbooks, whatever. But you know what? Here we go. Penang chicken. Oh, someone's asking where I got the bowls from. I know, aren't they fabulous? They are from Costco's. Let me just show you. Hold on one moment. Look here. They had little bowls as well. I know, in love. And they had plates, but I didn't bother with the plates. So there you go. Costco's. Love you. Take care, everybody. Please stay safe, stay healthy. You know, we'll get through this together. And I look forward to catching you again next Thursday. Bye now.